What's up, Beaks? This is Michael from Technically Beekeeping. Hey, I want to tell you a little bit about a product that just came, just shipped to my home. It is from the Bee Expo. I saw this at one of the booths. I'll put a link in below about Swarmtroopers is the name of the company. It's a product that's made out of cardboard that's laminated. It's really kind of unique. I hadn't seen it before. I built one myself a couple of years ago. I've caught plenty of different swarms myself using this technique of just normal plywood, painted. It's a lot of work to be able to build. If you've not heard of swarm trapping before, there's a great book by Thomas Seeley. I'll link that below. I'll also link instructions for how to build this kind of a swarm trap, just in case you're interested in the old-fashioned way. But for today, I'm going to show you what it looks like. It just came in the mail today, so I'm excited to do the unboxing. So if you're like me, you hate to invest a lot of time watching a video like this if you haven't seen the final product. So I want to show you what it looks like all put together. I put this together over the course of this entire video. You'll see how that works. It has the straps to keep this together, which is really convenient. And then you've got the outer cover that you can pull up. I guess this is called an inner cover just because it's right above. And then I've put in some wax frames. I find it to be a great way to lure them in is to, especially to use some really dark comb. They really love the black comb. It makes them feel like they're at home, gives that great bee smell to it. And then you can see here also that it has a vent, which is really convenient. There's a vent on the other side also. Then on the top, it has this circle. Pop this out, and then you can put a feeder in there. Standard size. It looks like it probably won't work with a wide mouth feeder. As you can see, this is a great way to get free bees. I'll tell you what, at $150 to $200 from a commercial beekeeper for bees that are oftentimes raised in Florida or North Carolina or California and then shipped to the Midwest, shipped to Chicago, shipped to Kentucky, wherever you might be living in a colder climate, these are local bees that are free, and you're also doing the community a great service by getting them away from the human population. Let's open this puppy up. I haven't looked inside yet. Looks like there's some instructions. A cool sticker, I like that. Some straps. Then they have these instructions here. We've got all the different parts here. I'll make sure that I've got all of them. All right, so let's take a look at the assembly instructions and what it has with it. So accessories included. Looks like one swarm box, which I have over on the side. Let's see, straps and clips. Then it has the ventilation cover, which I actually have two of those. It says I should only have one. Then it's got two frame rests, which are these two. Looks like it has 11 screws, which actually it looks like 12, which I don't mind having one extra. Then it has 5 screw retainer bolts. So it looks like I have 6 actually, but again, don't mind having an extra one. Feeder spacer box itself, I don't want to rip that off yet. I'm just not sure what exactly it does yet. Then it looks like it has the Swarmtrooper sticker, which is important. Got that. 3 bobby pins, and then it says to get a Phillips screwdriver, and let's just check to see, yep, that puppy will work. So firstly and most importantly, I want to tell you that I am not getting endorsed in any way, shape, or form by Swarmtroopers, and I've bought all this equipment myself. I am not being paid for it. I'm actually paying for the equipment myself. And as far as this goes, the review is just purely my thoughts on how it is to assemble this. If anybody from Swarmtrooper is watching, I would suggest using color. It is kind of difficult to find to see what's going on. I have to use a magnifying glass to see what the heck they're talking about. So the first thing I did was to take the feed spacer off. I have no idea if that's right or not. Hopefully I didn't already screw up. Didn't say it in the instructions to do it. It just sort of seemed like the right thing to do. There were 2 little tabs that it was connected to here too, and I just so the next thing that it says to do is to put the top cover together. So this is the top cover. As a hint, it says to use the bobby pins. It has a couple of flaps on here. You just fold it over on itself, put the flaps through. It's pretty simple. It also said to pre-crease all of these different edges, which actually is a good idea using like a table side. I did that, and it definitely helped because there were some things like these little holes that seemed to fold really poorly close to the holes. All right, so the next step is to take the body and fold it up on itself, it looks like. So what's interesting is one of the bobby pins flew off and almost hit me in the eye. There's a lot of compression on this puppy. Don't try this at home, I guess. I don't know what to tell you there. You take this guy and you fold it in on itself. Oop, bobby pin coming. And then put this over here. Pull this up in here. Make a box. And pull this over here. Oh, bobby pin going. And then you put into each one of these guys. Looks like it says this should go on the inside. If you're able to see that, I'm not sure. And then you're supposed to put this through the X, the screw through the X, and then through the hole to hold it in place. So I'll go ahead and do that and probably put it in fast forward mode just so you don't have to watch me do this. I'm sure it's super boring. All right, so the instructions are a little confusing. It actually uses terms like flap A and then, let's see, side A. It would have been better to have numbers and letters probably. But it looks like it has this named as A, which has this little thing here, if you can see that, called both sides B. So it's kind of like putting together a normal box. Both sides in, and then you close up this puppy next. And then it looks like you tuck this in to itself. And hopefully this helps people as they're building it themselves to be able to see some of the things that a person that has no clue how to do this might hit into that the instructions don't necessarily describe. So the next thing it talks about is the frame rests. So these guys here, it looks like there's already holes in here, 3 holes. Looks like there's X's here. You put this on the inside, I guess, and then you put the screw through the X's. So the next is the vent cover. It looks like there are 2 of these of each. What's interesting is the assembly instructions actually have the wrong number of components. These are actually perfectly the correct number of them. So it looks like the vent goes onto this hole here on this side, and then on that side there too. You have a hole there for the screw, and then the vent goes on here to vent out the hot air inside of the hive, and then you're able to turn it and shut it off, it looks like. So again, I'm kind of reverse engineering how the thing works, but I will put it on and fast forward just so that you don't get bored watching me do this. So the next part is attaching the straps. So the straps look like this, and you kind of put them through here, through there, and then around. And the idea behind the straps is then you can close up the box and put this through here, and then you can tighten this up to make it a really nice box. Just take off the rubber bands, and then you put it through the hole. You have to be careful that you're putting this the right way, or how you'd want this to wrap around. But you put this in first through the little hole here, and then pull it through on this side, through here, and like so, and then pull it around. So one of the fast tricks that I found comes with these 2 pieces here. It's easier just to take this off and then put it through here and then here by itself rather than trying to do it while it's sitting there. It might be obvious, but then you're able to just clip this on like that. Another tip that I've used for years is using dead bees in a swarm trap. So when I have a dead out in the end of winter, or when for example, today I just went out and cleaned out the bottom bees that had died and fallen to the bottom. You can see how that hive is doing. It's doing wonderfully. This is my backyard bee hive. Never waste these bees. Never just throw them on the ground. Always store them in Ziploc bags for the spring, for being able to put them into your swarm hives. It's a great way to make the hive smell like a nice, homey place for the bees. If you went in and you saw a bunch of dead bodies in a rental, you'd probably be a little freaked out. With bees, it's a little different. They go in, they walk around, they see that there's dead bees in there, and it feels like a colony had lived here. It feels like a colony had been successful in this for some period of time. And so they know that it's a good place to live. A couple of years ago, I remember having a scout bee come in, and she would walk around the bottom of the hive. She would be measuring the hive, and then she would grab the bees that were in the bottom of the hive, and she would drag them out and throw them out the front. It was almost like she was getting it ready for the queen bee. A few days later, there was a huge swarm inside of the hive. I think that a lot of it had to do with the dead bees in the bottom of the hive. It gave it that homey smell. It convinced the bee that this was a really good place to live. In a future video, I'll show you how to take a styrofoam container like this one that you can get from Amazon. You can either order it itself, or sometimes things just come in these types of containers. Make a DIY swarm trap out of it. It's really a cool technique to be able to save money. Just put more swarm traps out, see if you catch any free bees. Also, make sure that you check out this video above on the Bee Expo itself. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? You'll find out in that video.